Members of this committee, Local Government Service Commission, you're welcome. My name is Beverly Nzala from the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. My name is Lisha Hawamunyima from the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to you. Good morning, honorable members, and good morning, Local Government Service Commission. Siwale Andrew is my name from the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson and honorable members present, the Commission Chairperson and your team. Good morning and you're welcome. From the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly, I am Chirimboi Elijah. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, Local Government Service Commission. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in Petauke District of the Eastern Province. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Mitete.
Grateful Chairperson. Local Government Service Commission Chairperson and your team. You are welcome to this your committee. I'm your humble servant, the MP for Mitete, Mutelo Meshek is my name. Congratulations to you, Chairperson, for your appointment.
Chairperson, we also have our members who are connected electronically. This is Honorable Member for Mangango and Honorable Member for Siavonga. Honorable Member for Mangango, good morning. You can greet the Chairperson and the team.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you. Local Government Service Commission, good morning to you and everyone else there, our permanent witnesses. I'm Mwene Hamba, Member of Parliament for Mangango. You are most welcome, Chair, the Commission. We are here, we shall be together, deliberating together, even when we are virtually, but we are together. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mwene Ruhamba. We have also Honorable Member for Siavonga. Honorable Member for Siavonga, are you there? Okay, he will connect in due course. That is Honorable Mlunda. Vice Chairperson?
Most grateful Chairperson. Good morning to you and the honorable members. Good morning, our permanent witnesses and Secretariat. The Chairperson, Local Government Service Commission. Good morning to you and your team. Christopher Shakafuswa is my name. I represent the good people of Mandevu constituency. Like the Chair said, I deputizing. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you. Chairperson and the members of the Commission and the Secretariat of the Commission. My name is Meshek Mutetwa Nyambose. I represent the wonderful people of Chasefu constituency in the eastern part of Zambia, and I'm privileged to chair this committee, Chairperson. Once again, you are welcome. To this far, we have dealt with 156 constituencies. All of them. We concluded on Friday. Today it's your turn as the employer and the principal witness, one of the principal witnesses, and to take us through your memorandum. This is your time, Chairperson. You can take the mic.
Chairperson and honorable members of the committee, on behalf of my delegation, we wish by way of introduction state that this submission follows a request by the Clerk of the National Assembly to the Local Government Service Commission to provide comments to the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. Chairperson, the Local Government Service Commission is established under Article 228, Sub 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia, as amended by Act Number 2 of 2016 and operationalized by the Service Commission Act Number 10 of 2016, Section 16, Subsection 1. It is mandated to oversee all human resource matters in all the 116 local authorities in Zambia. The Commission followed the committee's sessions and noted the findings of the Auditor General's report with keen interest. It is saddening to see some local authorities failing to follow laid down procedures in the implementation of the Enhanced Constituency Development Fund, CDF in short, as well as failing to spend resources meant for the development of constituencies. 2.0, the role of the Commission in the implementation of CDF. Chairperson, the Commission's mandate is to manage human resources in the local government service. In line with its mandate, the Commission's role in the implementation of CDF is to provide adequate staff to all local authorities to ensure effective delivery of municipal services and indeed development projects. The day-to-day implementation of the CDF is monitored by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Chairperson, in line with its mandate, the Commission recruited various staff for the local authorities in the year 2024 in order to ensure that the right mix of the human resource is achieved in all local authorities. The recruitment resulted in 62 architects, 173 civil engineers, 12 quantity surveyors, 93 electrical engineers, 275 legal officers, and 85 systems analysts being employed in the local government service. These are key personnel required in the implementation of the Constituency Development Fund projects. Please refer to Appendix 1. It's contained in the other document. The recruited officers were inducted into the local government service at Chalimbana Local Government Training Institute to prepare them for what was expected of them in the local authorities. Presentations from the Engineering Institute of Zambia, EIZ, on engineering ethics and various engineering guidelines were made. The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development also made presentations on their mandate, as well as the Constituency Development Fund guidelines. The Decentralization Secretariat also made a presentation on decentralization. 3.0, interventions to improve capacities of local authorities. Chairperson, just as a reminder, the current Local Government Service Commission was appointed in 2021. Since then, the Commission has worked tirelessly to address operational gaps in local authorities. Further, the Enhanced Constituency Development Fund required an expansion of the local authorities' structures in order to efficiently implement the Constituency Development Fund projects. To this effect, the following interventions have been made. 3.1, review of the local authorities' structures. The Commission, in collaboration with the Management Development Division, MDD in short, Cabinet Office, and the Decentralization Secretariat, began the process of developing organization structures for all the 116 local authorities, that is, cities, municipals, and town councils. Chairperson, you may wish to note that the organization structure for town councils was approved in April 2023. Reference is made to Appendix 2A and operationalized in 2024 in order to respond to the demands of the Constituency Development Fund. The decentralization exercise and address the lack of a formal organization structure for local authorities. Following the approval of the town council structure, the Commission embarked on the reorganization of the local authorities through transfers, promotions, and regradings. This was in a bid to ensure that local authorities had the right mix of staff. The Commission further operationalized the municipal and city structures. Appendix 2B and 2C are given as references, effective 1st November 2025, except that of Lusaka City Council, which is still under consideration. It is hoped that this measure will help reduce the noted queries after it has been fully implemented. 3.2, recruitment of new officers, chairperson, and honorable members of the committee. Following the operationalization of the new township and municipal structures, the Commission recruited a total of 1,200 people to fill various positions in the local government service, thereby addressing the noted failure to fill vacancies. However, it should be noted that some positions could not be filled due to budget constraints. Many local authorities, to a large extent, depend on the Equalization Fund to pay salaries. Chairperson, although the Commission recruited the said officers, their attrition rate remains high for technical staff such as engineers, architects, quantity surveyors, and lawyers. The attrition has negatively contributed to the poor implementation of the CDF and other government projects at the local level due to persistent loss of skills. The attrition is attributed to poor salaries and other conditions of service compared to those of the private sector, such as the mines. In an attempt to correct the continued loss of technical skills, the Commission has written to the Emoluments Commission requesting for a review of salaries in the local government service in order to retain technical staff. 3.3 Staff audits. The Commission embarked on a staff audit exercise in 2024. The aim of the audit was to, bullet number 1, identify critical positions that needed to be filled. Bullet 2, mitigate overstaffing through redistribution of staff. Bullet 3, verify requisite qualifications for serving employees. And bullet 4, identify challenges faced by employees in the local authorities. The Commission has so far carried out audits in 5 provinces, namely Eastern, Northwestern, Western, Southern, and Central provinces. The audits for Copperbelt, Luapula, Northern, Muchinga, and the Lusaka provinces will be carried out this year. 3.4 Appraisal of principal officers. Chairperson and the honorable members of the committee, during the year 2024, the Commission implemented the first ever performance appraisal for principal officers, that is, town clerks and council secretaries. The purpose of the appraisal was to assess the performance of the officers in line with their duties and work plans. The broad objective of the exercise was to hold the principal officers accountable in the implementation of government programs and projects by the local authorities that they work for. The committee may be pleased to learn that from the appraisal exercise, 8 principal officers were demoted, although we prefer to say were regraded, for failure to perform their duties satisfactorily. Going forward, the Commission will include directors and other employees in the performance appraisal program. 4.0 Conclusion. Chairperson and the honorable members of the committee, in conclusion, we wish to state that the Local Government Service Commission remains committed to strengthening the capacities of local authorities in order to implement the Enhanced Constituency Development Fund projects, CDF in short, effectively. In response to the challenges highlighted in the Auditor General's report for the 2024 financial year, the Commission has undertaken targeted interventions. These include, but not limited to, the recruitment of qualified technical and legal personnel, reviewing and redesigning the organization structure of local authorities, capacity building through induction programs, and performance-based appraisals for principal officers and other employees. These measures are aligned to the 8th National Development Plan, Vision 2030, the national decentralization policy, and the Commission's strategic plan that aims at ensuring improved service delivery, accountability, and efficient utilization of CDF resources across the 116 local authorities. Chairperson and the honorable members of the committee, this memorandum is submitted for the information of your parliamentary committee. I beg to submit.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, for that wonderful presentation of your report. Before we engage, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Honorable Kamondo. Honorable Kamondo, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Honorable Chairperson, and good morning, Local Government Service Commission. My name is Eric Kamondo. I'm Member of Parliament for Mufumbwe. Greeting you from Mufumbwe District. Thank you.
Thank you. You are free to participate. Our employers are here. If you have any observations or maybe reaction to the presentation, you are free to do so, as you always do, Honorable Kamondo and the other members who are connected virtually. Chairperson, we're also joined by the senior members from the Auditor General's office. I will ask them to introduce themselves. Well, you're alone.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, the Commission. My name is Evelyn Mutandwa, Director in charge of Lusaka Provincial Audit and Local Authorities Directorate. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, that was a presentation by the Commission. We can engage if you have any comments or clarifications. Vice Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Chair, and thank you so much, Chairperson of the Commission, for your memorandum. First of all, Chair, I want to commend the Commission for the review of local authority structures, which they have implemented the municipal and town structures, except for Lusaka, and that is where my worry is, being a member of parliament in Lusaka district. Lusaka City Council has 38 wards, and in Mandevo we have 8 wards. We only have one engineer that has to supervise all the 8 wards, and it's a challenge where you want this engineer to be effective, because he can only be, for example, in one particular area, ward, per day, per time. And so I would like to find out, when are you going to carry out a review for Lusaka City Council and perhaps operationalize the new structure for Lusaka City Council, because the challenges in Lusaka City are enormous, and the lack of human resource in critical areas is impeding the implementation of CDF activities. So that is my question. Then, as I was commending the employment, I've seen on Appendix 2A that you employed a number of officers, and key among these are civil engineers, architects, lawyers. However, I'm worried as you go down. You are talking about the attrition rate, which remains so high. And this has been a problem. And every time, Chair, we have met the Commission, and I think I've asked this question. How far have we gone to engage the Emolument Service Commission? Because it's been a worry that the same engineers who work for government at RDA, the engineers at ZESCO, the engineers in government wings get paid good salaries. Yet the same engineers working in the local authorities get very minimal emoluments. Where is the problem? This parliament made sure that we operationalize the Emoluments Commission, among other things, to ensure that this problem in local government is dealt with.
Correct.
No government chair will perform without putting right the human resource in local authorities. We appreciate the government of the New Dawn for increasing the CDA from 1.6 to now 40 million kwacha. But without a motivated team, without a team that will stay and enjoy working for the local service, things will not improve, Chair. Where is the problem? Last year we asked the same question. How far have you engaged the Emoluments Commission? You remember, Chair, I was even suggesting that we should call Emoluments Service Commission. And as I was reading through this report, I was saying I wish I'd reminded you so that they appear together with the commission so that we know where the problem is, because this now is unacceptable, Chair. The problem does not lie with you, but I don't know where. We would love to know where the problem is, where our engineers, our architects, our lawyers in the councils are paid very little resources compared to the same engineers, same architects, same lawyers that work for the same government. Chair, I submit.
Thank you very much for that passionate and yet emotional submission. It tells Chairperson that we have been with these issues for some time. The first question was the Lusaka City Council approval of the structure, the organization structure, the establishment there. The ideal, it started like this. From the time the government, the UPND came in with enhanced CDF, observations are there that in councils like Lusaka and other councils like Kitwe, who have so many constituencies to deal with, the staffing levels are not to the expected standard or number. So from 2023, Chairperson, you have come in 2023 to date. When you approved the other councils, what is wrong with Lusaka's structure to be approved? What is the problem? MDD is still the same, is there. That's a question from the Vice Chair. Then the other issue is what you have heard about the emoluments. What could be your comment? Or what's the position of the Commission now?
Chairperson, let me begin by responding to the question that relates to the organization structure of the greater city of Lusaka. One can only speculate that that particular structure has taken time to be completed because of the complex nature of the city. However, to give the committee some level of comfort, and with all things being equal, this commission is determined to see to it that the structure, the organization structure for the city of Lusaka is put in place by the end of this year. Bear in mind, Chairperson and members of the committee, that we are headed towards a very critical period. We all know what is to happen. But that notwithstanding, we are pushing from our side to ensure that the structure for the city of Lusaka is also completed. Because it's only by so doing that we can have the appropriate staff sitting in the various positions and be able to drive the local authority so that in turn the local authority can deliver the much needed quality services to the citizens of the city of Lusaka. I don't know whether my COMSEC has one or two things to add, but that's where we are as of now.
Thank you.
Thank you. COMSEC?
COMSEC?
Thank you, Chair. I think just the way the chairperson has alluded, we have all been anxious to deal with the issue of Lusaka. If we are to look at the structures of the councils, Lusaka is sitting on 6,000 employees, almost there. So it's a very big structure, and the way they want to design it is probably different from the others because of the way the chair said that its nature is different from the others in terms of size. They may even want to make maybe mini councils, so to say. So I think the best from our side is that indeed we are engaging MDD, because that's the only authority which can give us this structure. We are saying that you are delaying us because the people want to see services being delivered in time. Without you approving the structure, there's little the commission can do because our hands are tied. So probably with the help of maybe even yourself to engage it, I don't know in what other way you can do to try to push MDD, because that's the only thing. The structure has been reviewed. What is only remaining is to say now we are done and here's the structure so that we can start implementing. Then the other issue of where the vice chair was saying the problem concerning the payment of our engineers against the engineers in ZESCO and the like. Chairperson, this is a big problem. It's a big problem because sometimes even as a commission, 9 hours you employ, 15 hours somebody resigns. The reasons are so many. And again, the way the chairperson has said, you see, we are not the only actors in this. When we write a letter to a reminder to someone, to some institution saying that, please, may you look at the salaries of the engineers in these councils. Because the funny part of it is that someone will resign from the council and join government. Mm-hmm. Look at that chairperson. He resigns from government, from the council to join government. And the status quo for engineers from our side, it's really bad because the engineers, the surveyors, the lawyers, even today, if I said that as we are coming here, we are sitting about on seven resignations. The other reason, it could not only be funds, probably salaries, also where the young people go. For example, here's the situation. Somebody is employed in a rural council, and these rural councils depend 100% on equalization fund, and people are not paid for 2 months. What would the young person do? Is to resign. So the actors in this are so many. Ourselves, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Law Government, we all must ensure that if the salaries cannot be improved now, but at least salaries must be paid in time. Chair, those are my contributions. Because if we don't do that, definitely we don't know when our friends are going to react to the request we have made that please, at least even by notches, there must be a difference between these other workers against the engineers. The attrition in this sector, chairperson and the honorable members, if we are not very careful, councils will be crippled, especially the small councils. Mm-hmm. Where do you expect them to raise funds if the money from the equalization fund doesn't come in time? Nowhere. So our cry also as a commission, much as we are saying employ, yes, we are employing. But I've given an example. You employ at 9, 15 hours resigns. And if you look at this report, there's a certain point whereby people, maybe they say out of the 95, you pick 30. Even out of the 30 who have said now you've got the job, only 12 will come and collect the letters. The rest you won't even see them. The situation is somehow pathetic. So we hope and trust that these other actors will do their part, much as the commission is doing its part. Thank you, Chairperson.
Yeah, the comfort is that I agree with the suggestion from the Vice Chair that this committee could have further engaged, maybe called the commission, the Emoluments Commission to appear before, so that we learn from them. However, we have an engagement with Secretary to Treasury tomorrow. So I think he has some command over those matters. So we need to ask the Secretary to Cabinet what he's doing. Because you note that the enhanced CDF, chairperson, we have worked in councils. This is the first time Ichirema there has worked in councils and the others. It's the first time councils are given these huge sums of money. So we need to ensure these monies are managed, projects are running properly. So the issue of emoluments for the engineers and that category, and the legal officers, I wanted to commend you as a commission for taking this bold decision to recruit legal officers in councils. Chairperson, you note that even the performance of the councils, these legal officers have really helped. Because if there is any failure in a project, contractor is not moving, they move in with the legal processes, recover the monies if the contractor abandoned. You see that the councils are doing better now. So that is another score, but we need to retain them. How do we retain the engineers? How do we retain the legal? And indeed other staff. So before I asked Honorable Mwanza or Mtelo, I just wanted to make a comment. You mentioned in your report about the redistribution of staff. Chairperson, I want you to take note and maybe comment. There are councils that you have administrative officers that are not very critical, especially now that CDF is the main thing. We should have the technical staff who are helping the implementation and seeing that CDF is well implemented. But you have got other staff that are, I don't know, they're supporting staff. They are very critical, but how do you explain a council with the admin officers, a small council, 3 admin officers, you have clerks within, you have committee clerks within there, then you have also HR. So you find that HR and the admin officers, these in small councils, you could consider reducing the numbers so that the wage bills can be manageable. Have you considered revisiting and visiting to see the ideal structure where you can distribute these other, so that you have the engineers with and other staff who are critical to the main thing that the councils are doing now, which is the CDF. So I wanted to ask that. Then I'll ask Dr. Mwanza and the Honorable Mtero to come, but you can respond to that.
Chairperson, I couldn't agree more with you. The members of this honorable committee may appreciate the fact that there are new players on board who include this chairperson and the commission secretary here. And the new people on board, we are wearing very different pairs of glasses and looking at what has been going on. For us to end up with a situation where in a small council you have 3 officers dealing with HR issues. We also don't appreciate. I think we're talking about the issue of priority here.
Correct.
What is the priority staff in the various local authorities? If you asked me, the answer is it is the technical staff.
Correct.
Say, if you look at administration and HR, really, I don't know where to draw the line. An administration officer can equally deal with HR issues. So yes, going forward, and we are totally committed to ensuring that what appears to be abnormal at the moment is corrected, so that officers that are employed by the Commission are placed where their services are needed most. Not just as a matter of custom. No, that would be missing the point. For us, it is the technical staff who are most critical, because I mean, 40 million kwacha flowing into a constituency. You don't even have an engineer who has gone through the mill. That is a tragedy, Chairperson.
Thank you.
And that, by the way, now reminds me that yes, they are engineers. The requisite qualifications are that for you to be employed as an engineer in a local authority, you must hold a degree from the university. I think it is more than a degree for you to do your work efficiently in a local authority. It goes beyond just a degree. You also require experience, meaning we need some senior engineers to be in place.
Correct.
So that they act as mentors to these young people. And the young people can be left on their own to swim or drown after some time. But if you just appoint them director of engineering and just come out of the university, I have very strong doubts as to whether the expectations of such an officer, the expectation of the people would be met by such a person. So this is a matter, and we are already discussing amongst ourselves to say, no. We cannot continue working in this manner. We can do things differently. And that we are going to do. It's a commitment from the Commission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll ask Dr. Mwanza, but I just wanted to confirm, we saw Mwinilunga Council. The other audit report, they had the biggest number of queries, unimplemented projects, because there was no engineer. Immediately the Commission sent an engineer, you look at their report, things have changed. The 2024, a very good report from Mwinilunga. So we just wanted to agree with you, Chairperson, on your response. Dr. Mwanza?
Thank you. I'll just refer to the presentation for page 2, which will be read together with page 4. On page 2, you are saying the Commission followed the committee's sessions and noted the findings of the AG's report. And you specify it is saddening to see some local authorities failing to follow laid down procedures in the implementations of the enhanced CDF, as well as failing to spend resources meant for the development of the constituencies. Your action on page 4, you are saying the Commission embarked on the reorganization of the local authorities through transfers, promotions, and regrading. As you have rightly put it, you've watched our interactions with 116 councils. The major problems have been delayed the completion of projects attributed to various reasons, such as delayed funding, also a lack of supervision on the council part, and the failure to follow laid down procedures in terms of contract conditions. I want to find out the measures, the strategy of transferring an airing officer from one council to another. How does it help to enhance the performance of CDF when you just we have interacted and probably, I don't want to mention councils, certain councils, but you have seen certain officers through our interactions that they did wrong things altogether. And last session, we interacted with some councils and we have presented certain names for action, but no action. And some of them, we just see them here that they were transferred to another council. And the same mistakes, the performance levels that we queried in the previous session were the same problems that we found them when he has been transferred to another place. So it makes our work very difficult when we unearth certain performance issues in the councils and then you don't act. So it makes ourselves feel like we are interacting and we are suggesting on how best the CDF can be implemented, but our efforts are fruitless because there's that coordination with our parent ministry like yours is not doing the the right thing to sort out these issues. What is the transfer of officers, and why here there's no firing, just to make sure that somebody is off employment. There are 4 measures. There's transfer, there's promotion, and there's regrading. What about the automatic dismissal? Thank you.
Chair, so the doc is saying, he has put it very clear, don't need to repeat. You are not firing. We are seeing people who indulge themselves in criminal, what we can call criminal things that you see clearly. The next thing you see that officer is in another council. And chairperson, Hichilema can attest to, even yourself and the commissioners, these people, if you see Nyambose here, I am doing wrong things here, then you just move me to another place. The same attitude, you see it there. So who is the problem? Is it the councils where I'm going, or it is me who is the problem? So if it is me who is the problem, why do you continue taking me around? Your performance appraisals. Now that we have the enhanced CDF, the expectations of the Zambians and the government is that the development should be seen everywhere. This country should change. But you find this officer in this council, problems. You transfer the same officer to another council, problems. And we have made recommendations. Not looking at names because they're closer to us, no. But because we are patriots, we love our country, this is happening for the first time, you are not firing. You are just transferring them. Eventually they find themselves there, back in the positions. That's Dr. Mwanza is asking. Why is the commission not helping by holding these officers accountable? There are reports, you can check, you can play. These people are known. They were in this council. What was happening? Problems. Another council, problem. Another council, problem. Then you are just taking them around. Are you helping your country and your government, chairperson? That's the question.
Chairperson, Honorable Dr. Mwanza has asked a very important question accompanied by observations. We couldn't agree more with what he has said. But if you asked me from where I'm sitting, it is indeed strange to transfer a problem from point A to point B Because at the end of the day, he would have achieved nothing. Now, it would appear to me that that is the culture, I don't know, in the public service. I hear it's not easy to get rid or to dismiss an employee. But from my orientation, discipline needs to be maintained for any organization, any company to function effectively. But I find myself in a strange world, and I'll invite one of my colleagues to share with the committee as to why officers are just being moved from one local authority to another. If we were to decide, they would not be there. They would not be there. Because the theories of discipline are that you educate, you correct, you deter. Those are the theories. But they are not applied in the situation that we are discussing. Commissioner Kapia, maybe you can share with the committee on behalf of the commission as to why repeatedly officers are moved from one local authority to another when where they are coming from they would have already failed. Why?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, yes, indeed, the issue that the honorable member has raised has been a problem, I should say, because it's going to be addressed. But I just want to share with you that we have now instituted human resource management committees in all the various councils. Because for issues of disciplinary, there's a process that happens. I'm sure we all know that there are conditions of service. And a disciplinary process needs to take place. And we are hoping that with the establishment of the human resource management committees on the ground, who now start initiating the disciplinary process, that issue is going to be addressed. We have had issues even when officers, I'm sure those you have seen, where ACC have come in, some have been separated, because that's very clear, that process. But also, you also would note that with ACC, it takes a very long time, and it's expensive for the various councils, because once they are picked by ACC, they stay at home, but the law is they should still be on payroll, and then we can't fill that position. So there are these challenges that are there. But going forward, Chair, we are trying with the Human Resource Management Committee on the ground to ensure that critical evidence is picked. Yes, we sit and watch when our officers come here, and we hear their various responses, and would want to see or to get the initial charges from the council itself. Because unfortunately at the commission, we note, but we cannot initiate from ourselves. We need to wait from the council at the local level through the Human Resource Committee that this person should be charged, should be given, a chance to be able to explain what this charge is and so on and so forth, and then the issue is recommended to the commission. So there's that process. But indeed, like the chair has said, we are aware of this and we wouldn't want that to continue. And also just to say that I see where the honorable member has said the transfer we are talking about here is over the new structures, not necessarily that when someone has done something wrong, they need to be transferred. I submit, Chair.
Thank you, Chair, Honorable Commissioner Kapia. We have, that is Honorable Singombe from Dundumwezi.
Yes, Chair.
I will give you an opportunity before Mtelo comes in. You can go ahead, Honorable Singombe. Yes, go ahead.
Chair, thank you so very much. As a way of emphasis on Dr. Mwanza's concern, which is equally my concern, allow me maybe to say that these transfers have indeed made our job very, very difficult. Apart from that, for lack of a better word, I would say that they are also consuming our meager resources from our local authorities, because in certain cases, Chair, you are aware that we have requested certain officers to accompany certain councils where they have been transferred, and this actually becomes a cost on part of government. Let's say, for instance, in the recent past, we had Kalomo, and we requested the other officers from who were there before to appear, and many other instances where we said, can we have these officers come? Why have we done that, commissioners? It's to try to establish what could have happened, because certain acts by our officers are real difficult to establish. So we have ended up calling more officers, and this is, of course, an expenditure in terms of meager resources in our local authorities. Now, my question or request, Chair, is it not possible for the commissioners to ensure that these officers are not transferred until they are cleared by Auditor General's office and Parliament, so that we are able to interact, or we are able to face these officers directly, rather than you are asking this particular town clerk to, and then he just comes to say, no, sorry, I was not the one who was at that station at that particular time, and hence this has made our committee to request for those officers. So my question is, in short, is the commission, is it not possible to wait and transfer officers after an audit has been cleared? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Just also to add what Dr. Mwanza asked earlier, and I want to appreciate the chairperson and the Commissioner Kapiha. What you brought out is very critical. And as a committee, we really appreciate the law enforcement teams, ACC, DEC. Now, you as a commission, you have stated that it's quite expensive to prosecute these officers because they will continue being on the payroll. But you have heard from Dr. Mwanza, and you have been following. You even see that there is a problem with this officer. Why can't you as a commission act first to save resources, go and investigate, save resources, then you just leave it? What we are seeing now, the commission cannot take action as expected. It's only ACC and DEC. That is the question from Dr. Mwanza. Why are you not acting to save resources? You going there? Because the human resource committees cannot, for instance, charge a senior officer if he's a town clerk or council secretary. We expect the commission to see, why is this officer in this council There is one council I don't want to mention, everyone will attest. Immediately after appearing here, the community rose and mounted a roadblock. We don't want this officer to come. Now, what is that speaking to? It is saying that the responsible commission is not following these officers. Because the moment of assessment, according to us, now that we have, for the first time in history, councils given monies, that is where you assess how are they applying themselves from the highest office in the council to the lowest. If they are not doing very well, but they have got degrees and masters, which one do you take? You see how they are using the CDF. Now, why is the commission not being proactive? That's a question. We need answers. And also, you respond what Dr. Singombe is saying, that the transfers should give time to the transfers so that people are accountable. Or you send Auditor General to go and check before they are moved to another council. Then I'll ask Mutelo, then the Vice Chair later on. You can respond to that.
Chairperson, the honorable members of the committee, we want to make a commitment before this committee that going forward, that practice of transferring officers who have failed to perform has to come to an end. What is the right thing for us to do is to deal with the officer at the station where the officer has failed to live up to the expectations of the local authority. Deal with the matter there and then. Because by just moving them around, we are not solving the problem.
Thank you.
The COMSEC will come in and I think he will respond also to the question that has been raised by Honorable Dr. Edgar Singombe. Thank you.
COMSEC?
Thank you, Chair. I think I will start from the Chair. Transfers are coming from so many reasons. I think from the Commission point of view, definitely transfers is not a good solution. One, even from the council point, just moving me to Lusangazi, when I reach there, must pay me settling allowance. And it's not small money to a struggling council. Again, from there, I move maybe in a year 3 times. So I think the way the chairperson has put it, that even just transfers alone, I think as a commission, we are revisiting that matter because it's a cost to the councils.
Thank you.
But there are situations which makes transfer happen. Among them is promotion. Someone needs to be promoted and then there's a vacancy. Definitely we will see a transfer happening. Somebody wants to reunite with the family at some stage. Maybe the husband is another council, and then they say these people must be brought closer. It could cause a transfer. Sickness can also cause transfer. And sometimes even what other issues can I bring? There are quite a number of other issues. But critical, I think what the commission is saying is that going forward is that there must be serious reasons for an officer to go. It's really a cost in the council if you look at the transfers. Then on the issue of, I'll speak a bit in terms of us not disciplining council officers, those who are erring from whatever they have done. I think the process is, for the junior officer, I think it has been put, like what the commissioner was saying about the human resource committees. But we are still having teething problems to deal with who must initiate a disciplinary case for a town clerk or a council secretary. We are not there ourselves. Probably can be using the chairperson or the mayor of this town to complain about the work of the council secretary, apart from waiting for the actual time when we do the appraisals, Mr. Chairperson. Because we are not there on the ground all the time. So we depend on other actors there to say, this is what is happening at this council. Seriously. If there is no that, it's very, very difficult. And you always say, no, the commission is not doing enough. But for those who we know that have acted, and we also look at the kind of offense which has been committed. Some offenses are not administrative. If you see that these are they have criminality in nature, then we refer them to the relevant authorities like the Drug Enforcement Commission and the ACC. I think that is the way we are managing. But in a nutshell, chairperson and the members, transfer has been a menace to all of us, including us at the commission. a solution, I think, is being found that we only when it's necessary. I submit, Chair. Thank you.
Yeah, also just an encouragement. Take advantage of the Auditor General's office. I think this should be helping you. If you find any any council which has queries, those you think that they can be avoided because of lack of seriousness, I think you should use that also, because we use the report ourselves to assess them. So the commission, as it just not following the sessions, but also look at the Auditor General's office. Why is this town clerk here having so many? We have done the CDF and his CDF. We are going to the 4th year. That is enough. No council should have queries. Then they will apply themselves in their office, in their areas of work. They will apply themselves. They know that the commission will use this CDF report to assess us. So let us take advantage also as a commission to look at the Auditor General's report. It's critical to inform you. Well, Honorable Mtelo, you have been waiting.
Chair, thank you so very much. A lot, but grateful. We are totally grateful that you follow. Not only following, but chairperson, to have allowed a permanent witness here, someone who sits on a daily basis together with us. That is recommended. A lot, beginning from Lusaka, which is yet to be restructured. But bearing in mind that this year, more especially for next year, you have more increased constituencies. So that must come to the table. As we are speaking of your mandate, managing human resource, where you had how many constituencies in Lusaka?
7.
7. There's a possibility. Where you have 1, 2. Where you have 2, 3. So let's have that. How is the commission going to be handling that? In terms of CDF, what am I saying? A constituency that was handling 40 will handle 80. The constituency or local authority that was handling 80 will be handling 120. I'm just, speaking.
160.
That's if it is 40, 40, 40. And there's a possibility of the CDF being increased. So what are we doing? The Minister of Finance, the Treasury, into the constituencies, and that which is doing a great job so far. The enhanced CDF. Hallelujah. So that should be on your table, Chairperson, together with other actors. Then the President has directed to say there should be officers to manage the loans. That instruction has also been given. So you, Chair, there's also this coming.
The loan officers.
Loan officers. How you do it, it's you. In addition to the engineers, in addition to the lawyers, who are being employed by 9 and 15 are resigning. So it's another concern. What must we all do? What must we all do? On top of that, you have officers who are acting for ages, indefinite. What's the commission doing about that? Those who would have been acting for over a year. How do we handle such a situation? Chair, let me end here for now.
Yeah, we ask them to respond.
So that we hear, because other issues have already been said. You have 2 or 3 officers in the same capacity. I'm just taking Kaumbwe, for example. Then in Mwinilunga, there are no officers. The chair has not told you, I will tell you. We've been told here to say, no, because I went to inherit an empty office. I told that officer to say there can't be an empty office. But they insisted the office was empty. No documentation. Chairperson, where have you heard such a thing? Empty office. Because the right staff was not employed.
We allow him to respond?
Yes, Chair. Does your commission employ empty officers so that we have empty offices? Then come. I'm hearing this from you to say no, council's going for 2 months or a month. Those issues have to some extent not really coming out. It was only Lusaka, if my memory serves me correct, at some point where we came and said, why are you not paying? Very few. And now, if there are any local authorities not paying, a good number are. We are not saying the equalization fund is reaching on time. We are encouraging. You are not the right people to talk of that. We'll ask the other team.
Let's allow them to respond, Honorable Member for
Because
Mitete.
there is a lot.
You are giving them so much so that they can.
I stand guided because the chairperson is the mini speaker. So am I. Sir, thank you so
The humble
very
servant
much.
has submitted. I will give you another opportunity. Chairperson, you can respond to those that you can. He also guided that the other issues, he will bring the issue to the ministry. You presented to the ministry the issue of salaries that you spoke about.
Chairperson, first of all, I want to put to rest the concern of Honorable Dr. Mwanza by making a commitment here that for the other transfers as explained by the COMSEC, maybe those will continue. We are uncomfortable with the transfers that emanate from officers who are failing to perform.
Yes.
And I think that is his concern.
Yes.
An officer has failed to perform, and what do? Move him or her from point A to point B. Icon, man.
Yeah.
That's not a solution.
Icon.
Those are people that we should deal with in line with the disciplinary code and eventually show them the exit door.
Correct.
That's the way you solve problems. For the others from Honorable Mutero there, I will ask my colleagues to step in. Commissioner Chibwa, I hope you heard the concerns from Honorable Mutero. Or the comms can run first, then you can come in. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I think the Honorable talked on the issue of the upcoming constituencies. Very true, Honorable Chair. Actually, anytime soon, you'll be seeing an advert over the ones you call loan officers, but I think they'll be called the project coordinators.
Yes.
Yes, so they'll be sitting in every constituency. We'll start with 116 and graduate to the coming constituencies, maybe after August somewhere there. But it has been approved, but it's in public domain. There's no hiding. Yeah. The 116 will be employed. They will be under the office, direct under the office of the town clerk council secretary.
Yes.
To coordinate these projects. I hope this will also enhance in terms of performance, performance management of the projects, because that has been a complaint for some time. Then on which other issue have I think for me, let me end there on the project coordinators. Chair, thank you.
Over to Commissioner Chibwa.
Thank you, Chair. Just to add on to the concerns that have been raised, with the creation of the new constituencies, definitely there is already a provision for that, just as the Commission Secretary has mentioned, that there will be extra officers employed. And also the main issue we've been talking about of understaffing of certain technical field, this also comes back to the same issue. How are we going to manage the new constituencies? It's definitely by allocating more officers to do with the projects as well as the engineering. This for Lusaka, which has been the main topic queried, will come up when the new structure is completed. But definitely there is already a provision that each constituency is going to have so many more new officers to take care of the extra workload that is going to come under each of the, especially the city councils like Lusaka, same as the town councils. There's definitely a lot of work that's going to come up with the 70 new constituencies. We are looking forward to being there to make sure the councils are staffed properly with the necessary skills. Thank you.
Thank you. Comsec, you have something that you forgot to...
Yes, Chair. There was a question from the Honorable concerning the acting appointments.
Yes.
Those who have acted for quite some time. I think from the Commission's point of view, we are all aware that probably there are two types of acting. If you're acting for administrative convenience, meaning there is no view of substantial appointment. So those is temporary, and I don't think they must not even go beyond 3 months. But for the ones for 3 months, unless there's a serious problem, why we delay? Because once somebody has been appointed to act on in view of substantive appointment, we don't see a reason why that person cannot be confirmed in that position. It's actually it's abnormal. Even after 3 months, unless there are certain papers which maybe that person doesn't have, which you may want to inquire from the council which sponsored that kind of promotion. But from our point of view as Commission, once all the documents are done, there's no reason why we will not confirm an officer or indeed give that officer a promotion. Chairperson, thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair, as we wind up, do you have anything? Maybe.
Chair, because I would like to follow up this question with the ST tomorrow, I wanted to get assurance. I note from the first appendix is the letter you wrote on the 3rd of June to Director General Emoluments Commission. Did we get feedback on this letter? The other one is to note the commitment from the commission chairperson. Yeah, last time we had such commitments, we saw as a committee that certain actions were taken, and we commend that. I hope this time around it will be the same. We have had the permanent witness there. Our work sometimes, we just ask questions, we ask them yes or no. And we hope that the commission is able to take note of those areas where you have, for example, through the chair, you have a principal officer working with the director of finance. They make payments, without the auditor passing through those payments. When you ask here, auditor, did you see this? Says, no, this was not brought to my office. Just the two of them, payments with unsupported documentation. And when Auditor General goes there, they will ensure that they don't give them those documents. Yet when they are coming here, they will manufacture some evidence to come and give to the satisfaction of the committee. But we are also able to see that these are just manufactured documentation. So like the chair was saying, we hope that you indeed follow our work. It will give us motivation to see that you are acting on these officers immediately. We saw, for example, an officer in Kapirimposh involved in theft. Others were suspended, others transferred. And the one who was signing on the panel, because the town clerk said, no, I was not on the signing, was moved to Livingston. He was moved to Livingston from Kapi.
Others are arrested, punished, but
Yes.
another one is...
But the one who was signing was moved to Livingston. And we thought that was taken note. As we help us to get motivated, we love our work.
Yeah.
We adopt the work of Auditor General.
As
That's why
well.
we sit here. But when you take note and act further like your committee, you will see that you have motivated this committee led by Honorable Nyambos. Thank you so much, Chair.
Yeah, we have cases when you look at councils like Mufumbu, as my brother said, you start wondering, is the commission interested in this council? You have councils like Lusangazi. You just play the Lusangazi story. Legal officer is not involved. The auditor, the procurement are not involved. Here is one director engineering on his own is just giving letters to contractors, and 3 years a project, a 1 by 3. 3 years. Do they love their country? Payment done the same day. IPC day, same payment approval, same date, you check. We have had council's chairperson, they appear here as the vice chairperson has said, manufacturing, you even know that these are fake documents. Manufacturing documents. How can you hand over a project before it is implemented? You ask them, what is the date here? April 15th, 2024. That is when you handed over. Okay, this was handed over and completed, yes. Now go to the appendix. When was the contract signed? In 2025. That's when they started. How do you first hand over something that has not been in? Then you ask these officers, what is the issue here? Like the issue of Kalomo in Dundumwezi. How do you build a mother's shelter where there is no health post? You start with a mother's shelter. Logic. And you sit here and say, but these are the officers we have, Chair. We are accused of being emotional and what? Because as a chairperson, we have been sitting as this team for 4 years. And you see, when you look at the favor that a government, a responsible government, gives 40 million. Has it happened before? We have got work to do in councils. And we imagine, chairperson, this 40 million for the next 10 years is being implemented properly. This country will develop. Who is going to change this country if not ourselves? And I have told them that, oh, please excuse us, as we are a serious team. We are Zambians, we are not going to allow this. Then they will be coming, they will be moving from one council. Next time, no, I moved. They are moving them and even promoting them. I said, you are lucky. If it was Mutero was going to see you fired. He was fuming, how can you say there is an empty office? And it's true, Chair. In Mwinulunga, there was no staff. You look at the previous report, but now with the director engineering, and I'm sure he's just alone, eh? You need to check that engineering. That director is doing very well. The time he came in, things are changing. So you take interest council by council, how they are performing using the Auditor General's office. You see, this is the main thing. Assuming there was no enhanced CDF. I've worked in council's chair together with my brother there. He was my boss, Ichilem. What were councils going to be doing? They're failing to collect enough even for administrative arrangement. So they cannot provide any service. But this time, this president has said, here is the money for services. Build this, do this, do this. Then we are failing him. So those are the areas. We're going to ask the ST on the other issues. So in conclusion, Chairperson, we wanted to say that you make a comment, of course. Serious observations have been made. One thing that we want to see, which office, maybe the ministry, is to review the CDF guidelines. Because we see a gap. How can a town clerk not be a member of the CDF committee? And yet, Chairperson, these are the people who come to present a report where they are not recognized. The council secretary. You can just force them to sit in the CDF committee. They are not involved. Now, they come here, it is them to make a presentation. That's why you see them making mistakes and appear disorganized. How can we enhance their participation? Because these are the responsible officers. Accountability issues, the buck stops at the responsible officers. They're the person now you are going to say your council is not performing. But you are telling them you are not performing when they are not part of the... So that is another observation that we need really to interrogate, that we see to it. Council secretaries, they must be part of this because they are not involved. The other issues are... they talked about Lusaka's council structure. I wanted to appreciate also the legal officers. You mentioned in your report, failing to follow laid down procedures. Chair, you have observed very well as a commission. We find it very hard, Chairperson. You have put regulations and guidelines. The ministry has done that. You should follow this. But with impunity. Is it Mutero mentioned that 2 officers, director, finance, and they just sign, money is going out. You ask auditor, did it pass through? The answer is no. And there are councils in this country, your councils, our councils, where they feel that, oh, if Mutero is the auditor, or is the person who is supposed to do this, because of personal hatred with Mutero, they deliberately pick another person, health inspector, to be doing planning issues. In Karomo and other councils, they just choose. And we asked here, you, what is your position? Health inspector. But you are the one doing project monitoring and stuff. It shouldn't be me, because I'm the town clerk. I should choose. If you bring Mutero to be my director, whether I like Mutero or not, that's the person who should be doing the work. It's not my personal home where I should choose whom to. No. But we are seeing this is happening in councils. Thereby now, demoralizing Dr. Mwanza because he's the one who's supposed to do that. The work is being done by Mutero. Now Dr. Mwanza is getting paid for nothing. And you start now internal issues. So as a commission, take interest. You will note that there are these things that are happening in the councils. The other issue we have been failing this government has put administrative cost for projects. Projects implementation, questionable. Things are not moving. But you find the administrative cost, take interest, Chair, and your commission. It is gone even in the negative. They just pick share, they go and get money. Someone will look at the vouchers, you will suspect the days when they withdraw. Sometimes it's a Friday. You know that they are getting money for weekends. But this money is for engineers and the planners who are supposed to be going in the field. But you find other officers now are having. So, with all these comments from the committee and our observations, we are appealing to you, as the Vice Chair has put it correctly. This is our country, Chair. The emotion that we attach, we love this country. When I'm privileged to be here, I should be doing the correct thing so that this country can be better. It goes to everyone. But sometimes you wonder what is happening in the councils. So we would like to get your comments, maybe how we should proceed. We are happy with that now the president has added more. You have come in to join the Kapihas and others. That team, it's sad that MPs should come and tell you. There's one council where the MP is not even, respected. He does the CDF what they don't respect, what they recommend as a CDF committee, they make their own. In certain councils, it's the CDF committees that are imposing figures on. So the interest is yours, Chair, to ensure that this enhanced CDF really moves. I would also want to appreciate, you have always given us a permanent witness here, and they are doing a very good job, the Ministry also, and Auditor General. We are grateful as a committee. So we thought we should make comment on those areas with a view that you are going to act on them. One thing that, in conclusion, we have no personal connections to anyone. It is a report that comes from AG's office. We have seen council's chairperson. I have given you, Mwinunga is one of them. Lundazi is one of them. Lumezi. You just get a report, sample any report, and you tell what type of an officer that council has. It's not about Mr. Kazabu and no, I just love Mr. Kazabu. No. But if Mr. Kazabu is doing wrong things, this committee will raise a flag. And you cannot say, no, when Mr. Nyambose, why did you say that? No. We have been seeing you from one council to another. You're a wrong person. You're a danger to this country. If the commission is not observing that, we are telling you because we are fed up. The president wants this money to be utilized properly. The owners are the people, not us officers. So that's the relationship we have with these councils. Nothing personal. They do the correct thing, we are good to go. We shall praise them. They do wrong things, we have no fear. We just respect our country. With those, I thought maybe you can make your concluding remarks.
Chairperson and the honorable members of the committee, on behalf of my delegation, let me just say thank you for having accorded us this rare opportunity to interact with the committee. I'm personally satisfied that the engagement this morning has been held in the spirit of patriotism, responsibility, and accountability. And that is as it should be. We are grateful for all the shortcomings that have been brought to our attention. And we want to commit ourselves to addressing the concerns that have been shared at this platform. How nice it will be for us to meet next time and we should all just be celebrating that things are running properly. Because that is what will take our country to another level of development. So once again, on behalf of my colleagues, thank you so much. I hope from here we can interact elsewhere and maybe chat about even issues that we have not talked about. Thank you so much. With the permission of the chair, we will be too pleased to take leave.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Before you take leave, you have our immunity. I hereby withdraw the immunity vest. And yes, Chair, and as you said, the immunity is hereby withdrawn. And we have enjoyed this interaction. We have all the hope in this team, in this commission. And before we have the next witness, I will ask honorable members to have 5 minutes chat with you. It's rare to have you, so we can have that chat outside before we admit the other team. Thank you very much, Chair. We have really enjoyed, and we shall help you, and we shall help our country. Thank you very much. We can take leave.